Hello and welcome to our fourth grade edition of the Common Core 2's webcast series. I'm Daniel and I'm here in Rome City Schools with three educators. If you could introduce yourself, starting with Cassie.
Okay, I'm Cassie Parson and I am the literacy coach at West End Elementary School and the system level literacy coordinator.
I am Kim Wright and I am a third grade reading and writing teacher this year, and I taught fourth grade reading and writing last year.
I'm Vanessa Walker, and I am a fourth grade reading and writing teacher this year. Last year, I taught science and writing, social studies and writing, sorry.
Okay, so we all know that two of the major shifts of Common Core are close reading, meaning providing evidence to sort of build a claim about text, and reading more complex text. And you all, for fourth graders, decided to have your students read a speech by Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry wrote his speech for 18th century sophisticated adults, not 21st century fourth graders. So that was quite a leap that you were going to make in terms of providing your students with access to complex text. So Cassie, what was the reasoning for bringing in Patrick Henry? How did this all start?
Well, at that time of the school year, when we taught this last year, the fourth graders were learning about the American Revolution, and one of the standards in that unit is for them to learn about the key figures of the American Revolution, and Patrick Henry was one of them. And so I wanted to pull his speech. I wanted to get my feet wet with Common Core. And so I pulled his speech in order to do a close read of his speech with the kids because he was a historical figure in their standard.
So they were already learning about this.
Yes.
So it wasn't something out of left field.
No.
What was the task, the sort of the end, enduring understanding that the students were going to have to answer by the end of this unit?
I wanted them to write an analytical essay around Patrick Henry's speech, explaining how he was a symbol of America's struggle for liberty. And I pulled that question from a unit in the fourth grade social studies on the georgiastandards.org.
So in an English language arts class, a reading and writing class,
Yes.
they were going to do an assignment that was based on tasks in the social studies class.
Right.
So was there a lot of collaboration between you and the social studies teacher? Because you weren't a social studies teacher when you were doing this.
I was the social
You were the
studies
social
teacher
studies.
last year,
Okay.
so I knew what my students had learned.
Okay.
I knew what we were covering, and we were right at that critical time in our nation's history.
Tell me how that worked in terms of infusing the language arts and the social studies.
It was great. We had a time when we looked back at what had been going on in our nation, and we were talking about how our nation was just becoming a nation and the struggles that they had to go through. We had learned the vocabulary of the time and what had been going on with the leaders at that time. We had learned about King George and how he was not real excited about America becoming a nation on its own. And we had discussed that together in class. We had talked about it and done lots of different readings and discussing that together in class.
So they had built background
Absolutely.
before they started really reading this difficult text.
Yes.
It would have been much more difficult for them to understand this text if they hadn't been spending all that time.
That's exactly right.
They already had a context within this,
Right.
so
Right.
something to hook
To hook it onto.
knowledge onto.
Right.
But something big within Common Core is to write to a source.
Yeah.
And another big thing in Common Core is to read primary source documents.
Right.
And so by pulling this in, we could do those things.
Absolutely.
Write to a source and pull in a primary source document.
I wasn't as lucky because I was the reading and writing teacher. I wasn't already teaching social studies, so I was able, thank the Lord, I had a wonderful social studies teacher that I was working with. She actually taught social studies, science, and math, but we collaborated a lot because I would go to her and say, what do they already know? What are y'all even learning right now? And she told me that they were learning about Patrick Henry and the American Revolution, and she filled me in on what they were doing for social studies. And I was able to go to my students and know what they already knew. and to build off of what the social studies teacher had been teaching. So I didn't get the early knowledge of teaching them the stuff first, but so it was amazing that we were able to collaborate, the two of us.
Did you plan with her?
We did plan together.
What did that look like?
Whose room is it today? And we would go sit with our snack during our planning period and sit and talk together. And we do a lot of that
Oh, wow.
here
Every
at our
day.
school. Yeah, every day. So
Okay, so watching each other and talking about how I can use what they're doing in my class and vice versa.
And she did the same thing. She
Right.
would say, what is it that y'all are working on, if it was informational or whatever writing we were working on or whatever we were reading at the time, she would try to pull more nonfiction, or she would try to pull in a fictional narrative or whatever for her social studies or science or.
Did you find that your social studies teachers are using some of the strategies?
Oh, yes.
The literacy strategies?
Yes.
Absolutely.
They attend, we have weekly grade level meetings, and they attend, the content teachers attend those with the literacy teachers. And very often, I will go down with a grade level and plan with them, and the whole grade level will come to the table and kind of just talk things through and come to consensus of how something should look.
So if your writing teachers are using this type of writing strategy, the social studies teachers can start using them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It sounds like this type of level of work may not be possible without that collaboration.
No.
I don't think so.
It's
Right?
imperative.
It certainly wouldn't be as easy. And
No.
I don't think, I
No.
really don't know if it would be
The students, because they're getting
Right.
it multiple
Right.
times.
Well, and they know the standard
Right.
that they are to write at, what level they are expected to reach
And they know
in
every
every class
class.
that they attend.
We write
Correct.
across disciplines
Okay.
Mhm.
here.
Okay, well, thank you. In our next section, we're going to talk about how you help the students read and comprehend and access this difficult text.